What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Trent the Truth Show. I'm your host, Trent the Truth. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're listening from, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Spotify and YouTube. It's the Trent the Truth Show. And while you're doing that, give us some love on social media. It's Trent the Truth on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you search. Real quick, today's episode is brought to you by Gold Coast Gang, GCG. Gold Coast Gang, the brand for creators of art, style, and taste. Home of the infamous Louis Vuitton, a brand for the people. Premium goods at practical prices. For information, follow Gold Coast Gang on Instagram and Facebook, and also check out the website www.goldcoastgang.shop. Again, that's www.goldcoastgang.shop. And just like I tell you guys, you want to be a guest, you want to sponsor an episode, you got any questions, comments, or anything you want me to address, email me at trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. Again, that's trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. And if you're feeling good and you want to bless us, our cash app is TrentTheTruth88. Again, that's TrentTheTruth88. Don't forget to put the $ in the front. And you know, for the people out there in TV land, we got the QR code on the screen, so you can go ahead and pull your phone out and scan from wherever you're watching. But whatever you decide to do with the Trent the Truth Show, whether it's a question, comment, whether you want to be a guest, you want to be a sponsor, an email, a donation, whatever it is, we truly appreciate your love, your interaction with the Trent the Truth Show. And you know, like always, man, you know, we try to keep a good show. Well, ain't no try. We keep a good show for y'all, man. You know, we always keep our word of the day, shot of the day. We got our tips, we got our topics, we got our Black History moment. And you know, we got a message at the end. So you know, we always try to keep good quality coming in. You know, for the most part, man, I'm having a great week. Like I always tell y'all, man, I don't complain because I can't complain. I do understand that things are messed up out here, but I also know that things could be worse. Just thinking back, you know, when in current events right now in the NFL, suffering the loss of Marshawn Kneeland. You know, he took his life, and when you think back about just, you never really know what will make a person decide to take their life, but you know, you just start to really analyze things, and number one, it makes you take life into your own perspective, and it makes you appreciate the life you have, and you understand how precious life is. And then you also start to put yourself in other people's shoes, and you understand that you don't really know what people really go through. So, you know, it makes you learn just to operate a lot better with what you're doing. Just give people more grace. Just be kind, to give more love. You know, those things always help a person, but you never really know what a person goes through. I've dealt with that too many times on personal occasions, all the way from grammar school to high school, losing good partners, losing friends. So rest in peace to all of those people who decided that, you know, doing this is better than doing that. There's so many to name, but I just want to let you all know, if you ever felt suicidal, if you ever felt any type of anything to where, you know, you need some help, you want to talk to somebody, or mainly if you feel suicidal, there is a number to call, 988. But you can do anything, man. You can email me, you can call me. If you don't feel like you have nobody to talk to, 988. They can definitely help you. Suicide prevention is always good, but you just want to be careful. You never know what somebody goes through. So rest in peace to Marshawn Kneeland and all the others who felt like I say, this was better than that. And the continuous prayers to those families. Even on the flip side of when a person could feel like they're escaping, when they make that decision to do this instead of that, you leave behind family who never really get to heal those wounds. So some people may have their thoughts on this. Some people have their opinions on this. Some people may say it's selfish. Some people, whatever it is. If you have the chance to talk to somebody, make sure you talk to somebody. If there's something that could be done, if there's any kind of help you need, make sure you talk to somebody. Hopefully that help is available at that 988 number. Call that number, and that should help you. Moving the show along. Like I say, we just want to always make sure we have a great show with good content, good quality, and we do that. What helps me make sure I do that is just staying on top of my vocabulary. I use this Word of the Day app, and then, like I said, it keeps me strong and keep me going. It helps me find alternative words, even though sometimes I still just go with what I feel like I know, because you just want to stay relatable in certain conversations. But with the benefit of using the Word of the Day app, you don't want to be somewhere having a conversation and somebody uses a word in some sort of context or something that you don't understand. So you just want to make sure you staying sharp, keeping that hamster running. So today's Word of the Day is going to be TIFF. Let's get the pronunciation.
TIFF.
TIFF is a noun. It's spelled T-I-F-F. Again, T-I-F-F. Like I said, TIFF is a noun, and what it means is a petty disagreement, often quickly resolved. A petty disagreement that often gets quickly resolved. And even with the Word of the Day app, I always try to make sure I use that in the sentence just to make sure I can know that I'm understanding that word properly. The other day, me and my wife had a little tiff about what restaurant we was gonna go eat at. She wanted to go to one place. I wanted to go to another place. And she called herself getting mad with me because I chose the place I wanted to go to. But I knew once she ate, she was gonna be alright, so she good. But that little tiff didn't last too long. Once her belly got full, she was straight. Tiff. That's gonna be our word of the day. And like whatever you're doing, man, it don't gotta be the word of the day out. Whatever you're doing, keep it simple. E-books, read a book, closed caption on the television. Those are some of the easiest things you can do right away. For real. Just don't get away from that learning aspect. You always want to make sure you stand a student. Whatever age you are, however old you are, you always want to make sure you learning something each and every day. You want to make sure you learn it. You want to make sure you teach it. So with all of those things, just make sure you stand sharp, man. Like I say, a good tool is using that Word of the Day app. And if you don't have it, go ahead and download it. Word of the Day. Yes, sir. And like I say, with everything we doing, man, we just want to make sure if there's a chance to help our people with something, if there's a chance that we can give ourselves just by listening to the people that came before us, that made the mistakes that they want to try to help us prevent, whatever it is, you just want to make sure you give yourself that chance to stay in the loop, stay in the now, and the things that help me is using these tips. And the tips that we got today, and this is something that I see that really kind of like bothers me, because I see it a lot in the barbershops. I see it a lot in like grocery stores, and unfortunately I see it a lot in situations, where it's like mother and child, and there's no male presence at that scene. I'm not sure about the whole aspect, but at that scene, I don't see just good dominance. So I just want to just make sure I tell people to stop letting your children run the show. I know that shit might sting a little bit, but somebody got to tell you. Somebody got to tell you. But see, somewhere along the way, we confused freedom with abandonment. We started letting kids make their own decisions like it's some sort of badge of honor, when we can't do that. When in reality, too much freedom, too much of it early can create chaos. Kids don't need a best friend. They need a parent. And I'm going to tell you why. Children don't come into this world with discipline. Not built in them. You got to put it in them. They come with curiosity. They come with emotions. They come with impulse. And a whole lot of I don't feel like it. And see, that's where you gotta guide them at as their parent. You can't be their damn friend in those moments. You can't let them make those decisions because those impulses, those become their habits. And then it'd be hard to change. The things that you can't break at 5, the things that you don't stop at 5, becomes a problem at 15. And then you can't touch them at 25. Then this shit is over with. But you always want to make sure you help guiding them. You always want to make sure you helping them prevent crashing from making their own decisions. You know, it's cool to let them express themselves. It's cool to let them express themselves, but we have to shape them. We got to shape them up into who we want them to be. You know, expression without direction leads to confusion. And you see it everywhere. You see that shit everywhere. You see kids with no goals, no structure. And the number one dream job in America right now is what? Everybody want to be a YouTuber. Nobody's goals is to be a surgeon. Nobody wants to be an engineer. Nobody wants to be a teacher. Not even an entrepreneur. Nobody wants a business no more because they all want to get it on social media. And you know, that's cool. It's cool, for real, it is. I'm not knocking YouTube. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get your money doing that shit. There's a lot of money doing it. I ain't gonna lie. I could really see why people, you know, would choose a lane like that. But everybody that got an iPad ain't meant to be no damn sensation. Somebody gotta be the next people of the future. Somebody gotta be the judge. Somebody gotta be the politician. Somebody gotta be the teacher. Somebody gotta be the business owner. Somebody gotta be the doctor. You know, it ain't about always being a damn influencer, because that's really not a dream to have. That's some shit that just happens, but that ain't no goal to make. That ain't nothing solid. That ain't nothing to stand on. That ain't really nothing you can really make a career off of. It's hot, it's flashy, it's quick, but you got to be careful with shit like that. That's a lack of direction. You know, you need somebody in your life that's gonna step in and tell your ass, no, this is what you're going to do. This is the school you're going to go to. This is what you're going to study. This is what you're going to learn. This is where you're going to grow up at. This is what you're going to grow listening to. This is what you're going to watch. This is who you're going to be around. And you as a parent, you got to make sure you understand your role in doing that. It's not about controlling them. It's not about being that authoritative figure, just being in charge. Just guiding them the right way. Yeah, sometimes it's about making them do shit they ain't going to want to do. You got to make their ass read. You got to make their ass clean up. You got to make their ass go to practice. You got to make them show up. You got to teach them early. That's why it's early adulthood. You have to show them. You can't let them make their own decisions. You know, like I say, it ain't about being controlling. Shit, it's teaching them discipline. Discipline is a skill because everybody don't have it. Everybody don't have it. You know, you got to teach them. You got to coach them. You got to reinforce them. You got to show them what life is about, because they don't magically wake up at 18 with these ambitions and goals. You got to plant them seeds. You got to water it. You got to repeat it. Do it again, over and over. You got to drill it in them. It's going to take a lot of work, but you got to do it. You going to get frustrated. That shit going to piss you off. Some days they're not going to listen. It might look like they ain't going to be shit, but you got to keep guiding them. Don't let them make them damn decisions. I see it. Don't let them run the show. Lead them, guide them. Get them that structure so that way they can hold on to their dreams, so that way they can have something. You know what I'm saying? Show them something, because one day when they grown, they're not going to thank you for letting them do whatever they wanted to do. They're going to thank you for teaching them what they could have become, what they could become, or what they did become. They're going to thank you for the way that you led them, for the way that you guided them. Don't be their friend. Don't let them make no damn decisions now. They ain't grown. For real. You the one in charge. Don't let them do that. Stop letting your kids run the show. Fuck wrong with you? Tip 2. And this is a good one right here, man. This is just something I see too much. We just be including too many people, too many times, too many ways. Keep outsiders on the outside. Keep their ass on the outside, like flat out, for real. It's really be that simple. You know, that little line right there is really just kind of like a sermon by itself, because a lot of people confuse proximity with permission. Just because you close to me don't mean you're supposed to be. Just because somebody's standing in the circle don't mean they're supposed to be in the circle. They don't mean they belong inside the circle. Circles are intentional. They earn. You don't just get here just because you're standing right by us. Like, no, they built off loyalty through shared values, consistency, history. Not convenience, not coincidence, and definitely not because somebody just happened to be around. You don't just get it like that. It's always a reason somebody is not a part of the circle. They not in this shit for a reason. So why you celebrating with them? Why you doing the things that's a part of this circle? Why you shaking up with them that way, of the same, of this circle, whatever it is? Not even on no gang shit and nothing like that. Like, even, take myself, even me with my children, with my boys. We got our own little special handshake. And even if people see us do it, that don't mean that we gonna do it with you. You're not a part of that. That's just something we created. And see, when we it's a reason. Like I say, it's some sort of reason that the person not in a circle. Like, shit, maybe it was their choice. Maybe they didn't show up. Maybe they didn't invest. Maybe they was the ones that didn't reciprocate when it was time to. Maybe it was their behavior. Maybe you saw something in them that told you, like, nah, they ain't gonna be a good fit. They ain't gonna be a match. They don't move the way we move. So we can't include you in this. You too messy. You too loose-lipped. You unreliable. You talk too much. You do too much. You too needy. Every time you come around, somebody got to carry you. Like, I don't know. It's always something. You're too self-centered. Either way, that exclusion just didn't come out of thin air. So it came from some sort of experience. You see, when you start letting all these outside motherfuckers in the circle, all type of shit is going to happen. That circle going to lose its strength. Motherfuckers going to start just being able just to infiltrate the circle. It ain't going to happen. Dynamics start to shift. The mission get blurred. Outsiders don't understand the foundation. They don't even know how we got here. We got 10, 20, 30 years in, and just because we work together and you ain't allowed, that don't include you in this. You're not a part of this. This ain't no revolving door. This shit is like a lock. Once you get in, you in. Shit. It's like a key. This shit fits certain doors. Some doors it won't. This shit only fit one door. See, you don't owe everybody access. That's what we gotta understand. You don't owe them access. Everybody don't deserve a seat at the table. I was watching Remember the Titans the other day, and Gary Bertier, his friend, the little white boy, I forget his name, he wanted to come sit next to him, but he played on offense. Gary was sitting at the defense table, and I noticed I played ball. We had a defense table. Couldn't no offense guys come sit at our table. And that's just how simple it was. Sometimes it be as simple as that. Sometimes it be as grand as just some family movements. You ain't in this circle, you're not in this circle. Stop letting outsiders in. Because they don't deserve to be there. Keep their ass on the outside because they there for a reason. Keep outsiders on the outside. They there for a reason. For real. Tip 3. This one was a great one for me though, for real, because I want to make sure I tell y'all this. I want to make sure I keep reiterating this each and every motherfucking day and each and every motherfucking time I get a chance. That tough times do not last. Tough people do. Again, tough times don't last. Tough people do. And in 2025, with all the shit going on right now, that statement is actually needed more than anything right now. If you ever needed some place to land, it's right here, right now, in the world we're living in today. It's hard times going on right now. They can cut the snap. Housing is fucked up. Prices climbing like they're on a rocket. Jobs disappearing. Inflation doing the damn most. People working 2 and 3 damn jobs and still fucked up out here. Still the math ain't mathing. Shit is really crazy right now. And everywhere you look, it's like that on everybody. No matter what kind of job you got, no matter where you at. Life's squeezing right now. And the shit is real. The shit is hard. But see, what we got to understand is we've been squeezed before. And every time in history tried to break us, we bent, but we ain't never break. So that's what we got to understand about ourselves. That's what we got to know, and that's what we got to teach ourselves. That tough times don't last, but tough people do. Tough people do. We come from people who survived slavery. Not for 5 minutes, not for 2 years, but for fucking decades. For centuries. And still found a way to raise families, build communities, and protect our hope. We come from people who endured Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, predatory loans, housing scams, voter suppression, all kind of systems built to fuck us up and and keep us behind. But we always rise, just like Tommy Strong say, and still I rise. And still I rise. They keep trying to shut us down. They keep trying to shut us out. They keep trying to hold us back. And what we do, we build any damn way. We build in families. We build in businesses. We build in churches. We build in movements. We build in neighborhoods. We build in a whole culture they keep trying to take away from us. Anytime they try to take us away. Anytime they try to keep us out. Whenever they said you can't live here, what we do? We created our own neighborhood. Whenever they said you can't work here, what we do? We became entrepreneurs. We made our own damn jobs. When they said you can't vote, we marched and changed that shit. We make things happen. We continue to stay resilient. And we get it done. So I understand inflation is going on right now, but we can't get caught up in that shit. I understand housing crisis is going on right now, but we always survive. We always survive. We like roaches. On some real shit. Because being tough ain't about never. It's not about hurt. That's gonna happen. That ain't about just being tough. You're gonna go through some shit. It's about enduring it. It's not about just pretending everything's fine. It's just knowing that the shit is gonna hit the fan. But you gotta be ready for that. You gotta know how to withstand that. You gotta tell yourself, I'm not gonna walk away. I'm gonna weather this storm. Think of the buffalo. I read a little while ago that buffaloes, whenever a storm is coming in the wintertime, they go towards the storm in the blizzard. Now, of course, it's going to be messed up. You're going to get caught in the middle of that motherfucker. Right in the beginning of it, it's going to be hella storms. It's going to be crazy. It's going to get rough. It's going to get tight. It's going to get nasty. But keep going. Keep going. Because walking to it is the quickest way to go through it. And that's what buffaloes do. And when I read that, Joe, that really made me just really understand just how to stay resilient, how to stay strong, how to stay tough. It's about working with what you have. It's about finding a way that was never there before. Making a way out of no way. It's remembering that pressure don't destroy diamonds, it makes them. And you know what the hell you are. You know who you are. You know what you got in you. And that's what we about. We've always come out on top. Quitting ain't never been in our DNA. Check our history. We ain't never quit. Time's hard, bills high, life fucked up right now, but as long as you stay in it, as long as you stay going, as long as you stay resilient, as long as you keep breathing, as long as you keep moving, you ain't never out the game. As long as there's still time left, as long as you wake up every day with a chance to figure it out, are we in it, family? For real. Even with the shit that's going on right now, yeah, it's a disaster. It's a calamity to some people. But to a lot of us, shit happens every day. We just put this right on the table with everything else that we already know how to handle. So remember that. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. We always been tough. God damn it. Yes, sir. Moving the show right along. And see, I'm out here just moving the show right along so strong that I forgot about the damn shot of the day. Because see, I done already been sipping. I done already been going with this thing. And you already know today's shot of the day is actually going to be one of our favorites. Let's pull this thing out right now. We ain't forgot about you. Luna Zool. Luna Zool is going to be our shot of the day. And just some quick, interesting facts about Luna Zool. It's from Jalisco, Mexico. It's made from 100% agave. This is the Reposado version of Luna Zool. They got a Blanco, they got a Reposado, and I think they have an Anejo. This is 40% alcohol, which is 80 proof. This is our liter bottle right here, priced at about $16.99 in most places. Nice price, but that don't make it cheap liquor. This is a nice, smooth tequila. It goes down real smooth. You know some of the drinks that you can make with this. Any tequila, you can do the tequila sunrise. These is good for making margaritas if you got those little new ninja margarita machines and shit. A lot of women got those. They love those. Chicks love margaritas. And then, shit. There's plenty drinks you can make with this. But honestly, you can do whatever you want to do with this. Luna Zool is going to be our shot of the day. So, not sure whatever you having. But go ahead and get your cups. Grab your ice. Grab your cups. Come on down. It's time to pull the fuck up. I don't know what time it is where you at. But it is 5 o'clock somewhere. Luna Zool is going to be our shot of the day. And they all said, cheers. Yeah, that Luna Zool smooth. That's, like I said, it's one of my favorites. Some liquors, they shouldn't have showed me. So, I'm always grab that. That's a nice price. You get a real good buzz off that thing, especially if you got some little smoky smoke or something going. But, put it on some ice, let it chill. Let that water get in there a little bit because it is strong. It's going to tap you. Luna Zool. Try it. Check it out. And I think we back on track now. We ready to, get into these hot topics. I always try to stay on top of my current events, man. I filter my timelines. I make sure I'm watching true enough or interesting news. They always gonna show you some bullshit. They're gonna try to feed you whatever, but it's your job to just make sure you filter in that. And topic number one. This is really great because every now and then, a story comes along that reminds us what real leadership looks like. Not corporate talk, not a PR stunt, but real love, real appreciation, real responsibility. Henry Mason Jr., the CEO of Precious Hospice, just announced that for November and December, he's covering food stamp support for every full-time employee. Now that's big. Much respect to that. Just let that sink in. A lot of companies, they got to cut back. Some people, they got to let people go. But in a situation like this, Henry Mason Jr., he's stepping up. Just a little backstory. If you don't know Henry, he's from the south side of Chicago, went to Morehouse College, built Precious Hospice from the ground up. Started from the bottom, now we here. It's not a big corporate hand-me-down. This was born out of love and a little bit of pain. His mother was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. May she rest in peace. And he promised her when she got through it that he would build something that cared for people the way she deserved to be cared for. And that promise ended up turning out to be Precious Hospice. 10 years later, Henry's leading a company that doesn't just serve patients, it serves people. And this move right here, covering food support in a time like this, where SNAP is being shut down, we don't know what's going to happen with these holidays, he stepped right in, which is more than generosity. That's a statement. There's not too many companies. I haven't heard of any other companies doing anything like this. It's him saying, I see you. I know times are hard, and I'm not too big to care. And that's rare. Like I said, you see CEOs of these companies, they really just be concerned about lining their pockets. If they getting paid or whatever's going on, they may share some sentiments here and there, but rarely do they act. And we want to shout out this brother for acting, because groceries are nearly up 25% in just the last few years. Food insecurity is everywhere. Folks working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, 2 and 3 jobs. Like I say, even me, sometimes I have to go get an overnight job. Sometimes I still do Amazon deliveries. And you still need food stamps just to feed your kids, just to take care of yourself. A lot of people think just because you're getting food stamps is you just out here just sitting on your ass doing nothing. But no, these are the same people that's working trying to make ends meet. Everybody out here fucked up some kind of way. And Henry stepped up. Billion-dollar corporations out here making record profits. You don't hear about them doing this. What's Jeff Bezos doing? I don't really know, but I ain't heard nothing about Amazon. I do know that his wife, but his ex-wife, Mackenzie, is out here doing the damn thing. But everybody's not out here doing stuff. Everybody like to kind of just watch their employees struggle. Like I say, they don't want to share sentiments here and there, but when it comes time to buying eggs and milk and all of that, a lot of these business owners, they just go on about their business. Sometimes if they want to celebrate their employees, they may throw them a pizza party, if that. Sometimes they may shout them out, but they don't really help them to this degree. But Henry, small business owner, black man from Chicago, and a Morgan Park alum. Shout out to the Stain gang. He's doing what a lot of these giants are not doing. He's proving that you don't need billions to bless people. You just need heart. You just need heart. A lot of this shit is just about the intangibles. That's what takes you far. That's what takes you far. And see, let this be a reminder to a lot of people that's out here just chasing success, building businesses, even cutting hair like me, chasing dreams. Don't get so caught up in the hustle that you forget the humans. Find some kind of way to give back. Find some kind of way to bless people during their storms. Don't just build wealth. Build up your people. That's how you build community. When you lead with love, success always follows. The money is always going to be there. Leadership ain't about titles. It's about how you show up when your people need you. And this is some real leadership right here. Shout outs to Henry. For real. Much love to that brother. Much love to the movement. Precious Hospice. If your family is in need, contact Henry. He really cares. A lot of people they don't, but he does. Shout out to that brother. Moving on. Topic number 2. This was also pretty good. This was real good. New Mexico just became the first state in the entire country to make childcare completely free for all families. It's really dope. Doesn't matter what the income limits, no co-pays, no nothing. Every family can now send their kids to daycare or preschool without paying a dime. Families now are going to be able to save, it says, on average about $12,000 per kid per year. And I should know that. I got my kids, they had their share going to daycare. I still got a couple in daycare, and I do understand them co-pays and all that shit that's going on right now. But ain't shit to play with, family. Let me break it down to you. Childcare costs in America are insane, fucking through the roof. Some people can't afford it. Some people have to just do what they got to do to make sure they're getting the free childcare. I understand it all. I do. I understand it all. Because for a lot of working families, the price of daycare can mean more than rent to some people. In some places, it's a car note. It's a lot. It's mortgage to some people. But New Mexico just wiped that burden away. Shout out to New Mexico. That's pretty huge. They're making sure, and they also making sure it's enough teachers, caregivers, and facilities to actually be able to carry this out, to make sure we can handle these kids that's coming in. So it's not just free, it's also accessible. This isn't just about money. It's about giving families more breathing room. It's about giving parents freedom to work without stress, giving kids a strong start in life. And this should actually be a no-brainer. So you really want to ask, how come other states aren't doing this? And I wonder how many are going to come up after this, or how long it's going to take for the next ones to come up after this. Some states got limited programs like universal pre-K for 4-year-olds, but fully free childcare for all families and all ages. New Mexico is the only one. They're the first. And like I said, we want to see who want to come up after this, because it does a lot for opportunity. It does a lot for opportunity. Like I said, kids come from all income levels, and they get a chance to, compete on a level playing field now, to some degree. So, you just want to make sure that you're supporting families, that you're in programs that take advantage of. You want to take advantage of programs like this, especially if you're in New Mexico. Maybe New Mexico is going to get an influx in the population now. Shit, I don't know. Because they showing us that you ain't got to wait for somebody else to do what's right. You can go ahead and do that shit right now. I mean, I'm not sure what it's going to cost, what it's going to entail, how they're going to make it happen. But they made it happen. You can make the right changes if you got the vision. And they got the vision. Shout out to New Mexico for taking this step, because you're going to help a lot of communities. You're going to help a lot of people. And if one state can make this child care free for all families, what's stopping the rest of them? Let's get out here. We got to do something, man. For real. This was pretty good. Much respect to New Mexico. Let me tell you about this. Topic number 3. So apparently, I don't know if y'all seen this, but we got some shit out here called Neos. Neos we got a Neo now. A full-on humanoid robot that's supposed to help you around the house. Yeah, humanoid. It's a robot. So basically, it's like a little butler that don't complain or talk shit. You ain't got to pay it, but you got to pay for it. Apparently, it can fold your laundry, it can carry things, it can open doors. Let's get into this. Neo is made by a company called 1X Technologies. It's about 5 feet 6 inches, and it weighs around 66 pounds. Pretty much like a little butler, a little maid going on around the house. But it's made of metal and wires. You can get yourself a Neo for the small price of about $20,000, or you can do the subscription thing and do $499 a month. I don't know, but $20,000 up front, you're gonna get a nice demographic to get into that. But for $499, you're going to have a lot of people trying to scrape up $500 a month just to see what these Neos got going on. So they're scheduled for delivery in 2026. So, you got some time to start saving up, trying to, putting some change together. They say with the Neos, what they would be able to do, they can carry stuff around, they can fold your laundry, they can organize your rooms, they can turn off lights. They use AI, so you can talk to it. You can pretty much program it and tell it and have it do whatever it is you want it to do. But when you think about shit like that, I promise you, it kind of throws you off, because shit kind of gets a little scary. It's kind of, it get crazy, because you got a lot of unknowns. You got a bunch of unknown variables that you got to include. You got to consider the price. $20,000 to drop on a robot, as fucked up as it is right now, they playing with us. They want to bring out shit that interests a lot of people, that could help a lot of people, but it's so damn expensive. But for $499 a month, people still they're gonna figure out something. You still have to, it says you still gonna have to guide it to do a lot of your other chores. So it's really not just a complete maid where you just tell it everything and then just clean up your whole motherfucking house. There's still gonna be some stuff you gotta help it with. You still have that hacking factor, because it's a computer. They're gonna be able to get hacked. People are gonna be able to get all up in your Wi-Fi access, get up in your cameras. Somebody can just get up in there and spy on you, spy on your house, inside your crib, whatever you're doing. All type of safety bugs, just like your phone, just like these Teslas. You hear about these Teslas fucking up, the trunk getting stuck, not closing, or closing on the motherfucker, breaking their fingers, or, whatever it is. You got to worry about these types of bugs, even with your iPhone. Where you got to keep updating your phone. You got to worry about that. But you got to also worry about if it moved the wrong way, if it carried the wrong code, some shit could happen. What does it look like when it backfires? I don't know. I'm not really trying to find out. It sounds nice, but I've been cleaning up my house for a long damn time for free. I ain't trying to pay $20,000 for no shit like that. Then you got programming risk. There's a risk of some evil shit going on. And that's what I see with it. That's really what I see with it. To be flat out honest. Let's say they make millions of these things. They program them all. And they just tell them all at one time to do something crazy. They just take over. It's just robots, just indestructible ass robots, just doing something there in your house. They like, I don't know. No. The robots might get programmed to turn some carbon monoxide on, and then everybody in the house dead while they sleep. You don't know what could happen from shit like this. Clean your own damn house up. Fuck that. Use that $20,000 and start a business. Don't sit up and try to buy no motherfucking robot or no bullshit like that. Yeah, they look cute. Yeah, they futuristic and all that. But I don't know, family. If you into gadgets and robots and shit like that, go on and grab you one. But I don't think I will. Fuck that. Buy no motherfucking robot. Not if it's just gonna clean up. Like, hell no. It's a lot of little AI creations and shit coming out right now, and they always show the entry level, the harmless things, but you always got to think about what can happen on the back end with all that other bullshit. Don't get caught with no damn robot on your house and that motherfucker and start acting crazy. You can't stop it. You can't unplug it and shit. Nope. Moving the show right along for our Black History moment. This was very, very awesome. This is very, very awesome. And even though this is our Black History moment where we always try to figure out what we would target from the past, history is made every day. At just 21 years old, Jaden Williams has made history as the youngest mayor ever elected in Stockbridge, Georgia, and one of the youngest African American mayors in the entire state. On November 4th, 2025, the people of Stockbridge voted for change. Jaden Williams, a proud Stockbridge native and Clark Atlanta University graduate, defeated a two-term incumbent to become mayor of his hometown. But what makes this story pretty powerful is really not just his age, it's the roots. Jaden's great-grandfather once warned his grandmother never to stop in Henry County because of the racial tension that existed there decades ago. And now, that same grandmother can proudly say her grandson is the mayor of that city. That's a hell of a 180. It's a hell of a 180. The moment matters because it's a representation in real time. This is real history happening right in front of us, right on the TV, like y'all like to say. Jaden's election proved that leadership has no age limit and Black excellence has no boundaries. This shit happens every day. And ain't no limit to what we can do. We going beyond the sky. He's showing the youth that you don't gotta wait until you older to make a difference. You can do that shit right now. Wow, most 21-year-olds are just finishing college, searching for jobs, or trying to figure out life. Jaden say, I'm out here just building a campaign. We finna get this shit going. earning the trust of a city, planning for the future. And that's pretty big because your average 21-year-old, they're not thinking about shit like this. They trying to figure out what they want to do with their life. But Jay was asking what he could do for his community. That's a different mindset right there. That's leadership. That's legacy thinking. Kind of puts me in the mind of Fred Hampton, being that young, being a leader. He was killed at 21. So age don't matter. If you got it in you, go on and start it. Don't wait. Get it going now. So this is really like a call to action. Don't sit down. Don't wait. Ask yourself what you can do right now. What you can do at your age. Because you can be powerful at any age. At any age, you can shake up the world. We've heard about children in history shaking up the world. We heard about young adults. We heard about our elders shaking up the world. Whoever you are in history, whether you're seen as a human or not, even just thinking back with George Floyd. Some people don't like his situation or whatever, who he was, what he liked to do, how he liked to party. But he shook up the world. It don't matter who you are, you can shake up the world. And that's what's important. That's what's important. Shouts out to Jaden Williams, changing history like that. And that's going to be our Black History moment. Shouts out to that brother. Yeah. And with a lot of shit that's going on in the world right now, I swear to God, everything is so fucked up. You got the economy, SNAP benefits being played with, government shut down, and really just dealing with racism in its entirety. You really just gotta understand that the shit is gonna weigh you down, but you can't let it. I swear to God, you can't let it. We gotta do more than just talk about these problems, though. We gotta figure out how we're gonna handle them, how we're gonna attack it. But honestly, the real problem is, where do we start? You gotta really figure out where you're gonna start at. Like, it really ain't no... You just gotta attack that shit. You gotta attack it. Now, what I could say for the most part is, us as blacks, like I said, we always find a way to survive. We always find a way to overcome and to push forward in spite of whatever obstacle is in front of us. Check our history. Dating all the way back to Jim Crow, slavery, segregation, civil rights, you name it. We've been through that shit and we got through it. So I really don't see nothing different with anything that's going on today. Like I said, it's 2025. So of course, and of course we know how fucked up it's been. And it's fucked up that things haven't changed much. But we gotta know how to keep going. We gotta know how to keep going. Like, to be honest, in the time where everybody got a microphone, everybody got a platform, people really just searching for something to say to gather a crowd. You gotta be smart out here. And a lot of motherfuckers with the platforms, they don't really be conscious of the shit they be saying to people. They just really want to rally up the shares and the clicks and shit. And they be really sending people off a damn cliff. It's not about who it is. It ain't about, we ain't here to do the name calling and no shit like that. But pay attention to who the fuck you out here listening to. Pay attention to who you out here listening to. One of the main reasons I try to stay away from leading masses of people and suggesting shit is because you got to really check the practicality of the shit you suggesting. Check the practicality of that. You don't want to be out here just leading people into no damn burning house like Martin Luther King was telling people. So I try to make sure about how I'm leading people with everything, how crazy it is right now. It's easy to just tell people, oh yeah, let's boycott this. Stop going to work. Quit your jobs. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. Leading people off a cliff. When you don't know these people's situation out here, you don't know people's situation, people got to work. People need their shit. People got to show up. And I do understand what you mean. We got to make some sort of statement as a nation, as a whole. But you don't want to put people in more of a hole, in a financial hole, than what they already are by telling them to stop what they're doing. Listen to these other people can send you out so bad, it's going to have you so damn mad that you're not even going to want to keep moving. It's going to keep you stagnant. It's going to keep you fucked up in the same place. And that's really what they want. They don't want you moving forward. You can't feed into that shit. Every time there's some sort of problem, boycott, boycott, boycott. It's cool. Some of it really be effective. I don't want to take nothing away from it. Some of that shit really do be effective. But how logical is that? How practical is that? How can this be done successfully in 2025 when large companies are out here buying the smaller companies so that way their ideology spread across into those smaller companies that we like to go to? So we tell ourselves, I don't want to go to these big chains. I'm going to go to these smaller companies right here. These big chains, they own these companies too. So what you going to do? Are you really going to want to go without what you need this shit to survive? It's a real question that you got to ask yourself. And it's not necessarily that we don't want to do it. But how practical is that? How practical is that to go without like that in 2025? They own all this shit. Our solution kind of need to be something a little bit more effective. It kind of need to be a little bit more effective because we need to learn how to take our power back. And we need to know how to put that shit in things that's going to advance us in some kind of way. You know, they say we got the numbers. We the number one spenders. What are we doing with our money? What are we doing with our money? It's not that these other companies are doing shit. Fuck these other companies. But see, we see black-owned companies that's out here trying to do these same things and we don't support them. Support these black businesses. Support these black chains. They selling the same shit. They selling the same shit. But we don't do that. We too busy focused on not sticking together. Sometimes we create our own problems. But we got to start pulling that shit back in. We got to start fucking with black retail, black pharmaceuticals, black education, black marketing, black banking, and so on. See, these canned reactions don't mean shit if you can't stop them. You got to be able to stop these motherfuckers. You got to know how to fight better. Because it's lopsided right now. It's lopsided right now. Listen to the wrong person, that shit going to have your ass in the hole. It's going to have you in a hole. You got to understand, when shit gets harder, when shit gets heavy, you got to teach yourself to get stronger. You got to teach yourself to get stronger. We've always been people that's been known to respond and survive. If you really pay attention out here, be smart and listen to the ones that's telling you to do more. Like when they get tight on me, when things go left, when the economy is squeezing, I don't cut back. You know, they always say, oh, well, you got to stop doing this. You got to cut back on this. You got to cut back on this. No, because the things that I'm doing, I'm not out here just living no frivolous ass life when I'm just doing careless spending. I'm getting all the necessities and I'm treating myself here and there. It's a poor dog that can't wag his own tail, so I'm gonna buy myself something sometimes. And that don't mean I'm doing nothing wrong. But when they get tight, that don't mean cut back. It just means do a lot more. You gotta know how to do more out here. You see, when you start to decline, when you start to give up, when you start to fold, that's when you get smothered by the bullshit. Not knowing how to counteract, that shit can defeat you. You need real structure. You need people, you need places out here in the world that we can go to and have these types of meetings where we can sit down and talk to real leaders that's going to guide us, that's going to help us, that's not going to fuck us over, that's going to show us the way, that's going to get us out these holes as a whole, as a nation, as a people. You know, like I said, it's cool, you know, sometimes, like I said, the boycott, sometimes it works, sometimes striking works. But a lot of it ain't really realistic. That whole fight fire with fire shit ain't logical. You fight fire with water. And think about it. Like I say, these companies, these big companies, they buy smaller companies. They do projections. They predict boycotts. And they know they can predict how long it's gonna last. And it's fucked up. It ain't gonna last no damn 381 days again. Not like Montgomery. Because what we got to understand about that Montgomery bus boycott, that was one city. I ain't here to take shit away from that. But they wasn't doing that all across the world. Some of these stores, some of these big chains in some places of the world, some cities, that be all that's there. So if I cut this out, how am I going to get anything I need? How long is this going to go? It might go 2 weeks. Now we around this motherfucker looking crazy. And it ain't no black-owned stores in my city. Ain't no black-owned nothing going on where I'm at. What you going to do for that person? I don't know. Shit like this you got to think about. So instead of trying to cut these companies out, make sure you fucking with the companies that are already there. Make sure you're supporting black-owned. Make sure you're doing that. Everybody out for self. Don't nobody care about the youth. Nobody, and the main focus is just money. And that be our problem. We really got no intangible values. We don't got no intangible values. We're not out here giving shit to our children. We ain't giving them nothing to look up to. We just, I don't know what we want to do. We can always admire how Tulsa used to be, but we ain't tried to do too much of anything since then. We ain't tried to do that again. We ain't tried to repeat that. I know we had that one incident with Jay Morrison, but that was only for that one place. But what about the rest of the U.S.? How come we haven't tried again? What about other people, more qualified, prominent people that we want to do business with, that we want to deal with? But all we want to do is just get rich off social media. We want to be content creators. We want to be party promoters and influencers and shit like that. Our dreams of being in the medical industry, our dreams of being political leaders and being in the field of law, all that shit changed. We went from wanting to be, even though they characters, we went from wanting to dream and be Cliff and Claire Huxtable. Now everybody want to be Casanat. And it ain't no diss to Casanat. He made his money doing this thing, like I was telling you earlier. Like, it's a lane now with all that YouTube streaming influencer shit. Well, we cutting our own self off like that. And even with those, whatever we doing and however we get on, start to fuck with our own. Start to build our own businesses. There's black-owned grocery stores out here. There's black-owned businesses out here that you can just frequent. Like, come on now. And if they don't have it in your city, there's a company like Amazon, black-owned, that you can get with. I do apologize that I don't have that information right now, but you can Google it. Use your motherfucking phone. It's a black Amazon out here. So if your city don't have nothing black that you can frequent and fuck with, if these big companies is out here, if they the problem, and we want to make sure we show their ass something, let's make sure we're doing that shit in the first place, so it's not even necessarily a boycott. Let's make that our culture. You ain't got to beg these motherfucking Mexicans to stick together. I can tell you that much for goddamn sure. You ain't got to beg them to stick together. They automatically do it. I worked in a warehouse at some time, and I should see how they worked in for lunch. One person brought the meat, one person brought the tortillas, one person brought toppings, one person brought this, whatever it was, and they all put those things together, and they all ate good each and every day. Wasn't no question, wasn't no fighting, wasn't no who in charge, none of this. Look at how they do things. Look at how they live. Think about other races. We got to learn and teach ourselves how to do the same goddamn thing. So that way, it's not even a boycott. This is our culture. This is what we do. You know? But we gotta, when we get in these positions, we gotta be motherfuckers that we could trust. Can't be out here fucking around, misusing the trust, fucking the money up, fucking the house up. We can't do that. We gotta be in these positions when we get there, and we gotta work them well. We gotta be smart about what we doing. Even thinking about when I was a child, my pops used to always tell me, smile and get their money. Yeah, you know, you can play the hurt game, you can play whatever cards you want to play, but you know you set out to get their money. Smile. Yeah, they pissing you off. Yeah, you don't want to be there. Smile and get their money. Now, what you do with that money, you take that money and you support something black. Support something that's gonna advance your people. They like to talk about. What do they call them? Come on, Trent, think about it. They like to talk about people being token niggas. And shit, if you being smart, if you that token nigga, get they money, smile, get they motherfucking money, and then when you come back, put that shit towards somewhere else that's gonna advance your people. Fuck them. You gotta know how to play the game out here. You gotta know how to play the game. When you learn how to play the game, you gotta play that shit to win. You gotta play for keeps. Cause that's what the fuck they doing. My mom used to tell me, you gotta work easy till you get your hand out the lion's mouth. It's really a game. That's really what we in right now. And it's not bucking the system. It's learning how to beat them at their own game. And I believe we got that shit in us to do it. You got to play the game. Play for keeps. Understand the rules. It ain't about giving up. It's about understanding that this motherfucking machine, it's about understanding this motherfucking machine in this game that you're playing. Our problem is that continues to fuck us up because we don't got no plan, which is why we continue to get railroaded out here. We always continue to fall up under these motherfuckers' thumbs because they stay years ahead of us. And we still trying to figure out what day we gonna get together. They've been ahead of us. But we gotta learn how to keep up. We gotta learn how to run fast. So we gotta learn how to outsmart these motherfuckers at their own game. See, the reason it's not level anyway is because they know how cold we are. They know our abilities. They know what we can do. And they afraid of that shit. Even with them making the rules, we still find ways to come out on top. And they so damn predictable. We gotta learn how not to panic and get ourselves in the uproar every time we see headlines. They ain't doing shit. They at the end. They calling the same plays. It's up to us to stop that shit. When we gonna get tired of them running the same plays? We gotta stop that shit. We gotta know what's coming. We gotta know how to counteract that shit. We gotta know how to play the game. They be showing us. They be releasing too many Purge movies for us not to give them that credit about some shit could possibly happening. There be too much shit going on. We can't underestimate this animal. It's a machine. It's a monster right here. But in the beginning, every monster look like they can't be defeated. But if you keep playing, you keep knowing how to flip that game, you know how to beat that game, you're gonna win. And that's all it's about. Knowing how to play. Playing to win. Playing for keeps. Taking over, not giving them shit back. Doing them the same way they gonna do to us. Or even understanding that this shit is temporary. And we always gonna find a way out. So that's the beauty of our lives. That's the beauty of us being in these situations. Because it ain't new. We get tired of it. Yes, for goddamn sure we get tired of it. But see, you start to flip the game. You start to understand the game. You flip the game when you understand the game. Now I know how to beat you. You showed me how to beat you because you keep doing the same thing. Now, when I know you finna swing at this moment, I'm finna duck. I'm finna take your money and I'm finna take it and put it towards something that's gonna help my community, something that's gonna advance us. Or I'm finna really vote. You scaring the hell out of us for voting. I'm finna stop getting in trouble. You boosting up these laws on bullshit. I'm finna really get certified to be out here carrying my weapons and shit, so I don't fuck myself up. All we gotta do is get smart. Get smart, outsmart, play to win the motherfucking game, play for keeps, and they can't fuck with us. And as long as, or until we understand that, we're gonna keep bumping our heads. Play to win, play for keeps. You can do that. You can do this. Thanks again for tuning in to the Trent the Truth Show. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, Trent the Truth. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to be a guest, email me, TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Again, that's TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Thanks again. Tell your friends. Watch it together.